Okay, so today's got to be August the 8th.
It is? Or the 13th?
It is 19 degrees in Fort Nelson. We're sitting here at 2 miles south of Fort Nelson with Thomas, and Tom wanted to tell us about fishing. So Tom, you caught your first fish in the river, and how old do you think you were when you caught that first fish, Thomas?
I could have been 2 years old, and it got away before I got it up. Because it's what you call a chub. It was no more than 6 inches long. And it's just one of these little fish that not much bigger than what a minnow is. But I lived where 75 miles downstream from Fort Nelson, old Fort Nelson, where the Sikanni and the Musquaw River join. So there's a cabin called Maloney's Cabin where we lived. And Mother had a fish line she'd have out in the middle of the river, and a hole there with a set line through the water on a pole, and every day she'd go out there and get a pail of drinking water for us, and I'd chug along. I had 2 5-pound lard pails. I filled them full of water, but also she got a fish every day out of that river. So I knew there was something mysterious. I was young, learning, wondering what the moon was, that's for sure. And I was learning, and my eyes were wide open, and I was taking everything in. And this another thing, looking down into that deep, dark water, and she pulls a fish out of there. Well, that is a miracle to me, and it still is.
Well,
We're up at the cabin, and we're back up at the cabin, and right out in front is where that hook was. And I would peer out of that window, and God darn if I didn't see a fox running down that trail that comes down the middle of that river. And he went right to that fishing hole. And I figured sure as heck that the fox would be hooked on that when we checked the hook the next day, but it wasn't. So go ahead, what were you saying there now? You had something to ask?
Yeah, I was asking about the fish.
Yeah?
And once you caught that fish, what would happen when you sliced it open? Would the eggs come out? Eggs, liver, all that good stuff?
Not early in the fall, but like early in this, towards spring, eh? Towards February and March is when everything has eggs in the spring. So that's when they have their eggs.
And it's delicious.
All the stomach on the inside, you ate it. You cleaned it all out, and it was like in the ling cod. When you caught a ling cod, you cleaned that liver out, and you cleaned the big stomach bag out, and it kept you alive in days. In the history of Mother's people, the ling cod had enough vitamins inside of him to keep you when there was no, at that time before the stores in the northern lands. And if you ate straight northern pike, it didn't have and the people were found dead that lived at them lakes. But you always ate the rabbits. The rabbits never give up. But there was a time when the moose was gone, and we have a grandfather, mother's father, that was instrumental in putting a moose fence out of Fort Simpson. And that's about 15 to 20 miles across from the river to the mountain. They built the fence and they had a snare every so often, and they caught a moose, the odd moose. Them days, many people perished. And what is there to say? We're holding fast, you know, and they didn't, not everybody perished.
So what's the difference between a losh and a, you call a lingcod? What's the difference?
Not a thing.
Why do people call it a losh?
That's a French word as far as I know.
What, lingcod?
Ling cod is the proper name as far as I could see.
But some people call it a losh.
That's right.
They got that little whisker that hangs down in the middle.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. One of the best eaten fish there is.
Yeah, so then you grew up and you got in the boat. And what was the smallest kicker you had to go up the river?
It never was smaller than 8 horse that I could remember.
But
Johnson.
you'd still chug up the river.
Hey?
You'd still be able to chug up the river and stuff like that. And
yes, 75 miles. It took us 5 days.
so that's lots of sightseeing, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Better than walking. You had a full load. You were safe.
No, I always wanted to walk. It seemed so slow, that boat.
Yeah.
Always wanted to be on shore because I could run. Hey, I knew I could run.
So growing up at
It was a no though.
growing up by along the river there, you'd look up in the sky and you'd see the jets fly across, right? Just a silver.
Very seldom.
But you would see it once in a while, eh?
Not very often, no.
But you did see it though.
Never did.
You never seen a jet fly across?
Not really, no. That I could remember.
Oh, okay. And so you made it to Fort Nelson, and
When I was very young, I used to sleep most of the way. That humming of that boat there would put anybody to sleep if you're smart. How that slow moving thing like that. If you can't let a kid run off there on the shore and run along there, and you're going to sit there and twiddle your thumbs, no. The humming puts you to sleep. That's how the hours seem to go by. So, I think the life was pretty simple then and pretty nice, actually.
and was it hard to catch a wolf
Not a bit, never was, never will be.
with a snare or a trap? But either way, was it easy?
Yeah, but trap is so terrible for a nice animal like that.
Well, a snare, but I meant you want to save the moose, right? And we're top of the food chain, so you know we have to thin out everything, right?
Well, we just got to start eating, give up the odd moose.
Well, so no, well, I think you'd rather give up the odd wolf.
Okay.
Give up the wolf.
Okay.
And then save a moose.
Okay, we wanted to get your opinion into this here thing too.
Well, yeah. So then we made it up to Fort Nelson, and you went all the way up to Fort Nelson, and then you went up to Fontana's, and you continued all the way up to Canta, and there was an old man named Lester and Walter Taylor. They had a store up there, right?
Well, Lester did. Walter used to go up and just.
And that would be what year? When Walter and Lester had the store up there?
Oh, they probably had it in the 40s. Lester McLennan probably came there in the 1940s sometime there. And he had a stocked up place there. Just the essentials, mind you. You know, the dry stuff, eh?
Like flour?
Yeah, whatever else that's dry. There's lots of macaroni and there's rice and you just go on and on. Milk and
gas,
powdered milk. And,
gas,
no, he wasn't really a supplier of gas, but maybe he did have little supply.
traps, and ammo,
I don't know.
rabbit
Maybe
snares.
a few 20. Yeah, that stuff, that fine stuff. He was kind of like a Hudson Bay arm or something. Maybe for the Hudson Bay. Maybe he was stored there like they stored that stuff there. I seen it in there.
Yeah, and times have changed a bit, since
Of course. They got a snowmobile.
But I mean nowadays it seems like everyone has moved to the towns and not many people live traditionally anymore. So it's very important for people with the knowledge to pass it on to the next generation.
Yeah, it's very important for a kid to go and join the Cub Scouts. Show me the ones today that joined the Cub Scouts and then the Boy Scouts. And the woodchucks and the girls, they have their brownies, they call them.
Well,
Guides and this. Where are they? Why did they throw them to the wayside? Are they living too fast today? Or slow down? Let them kids slow down and play like that. Get the older people out there, make sure they're safe in the forest everywhere they go. Today, it's really terrible for that. So,
okay, Tom, would you call this the hot stove? The hot stove evening, Sunday night, hot stove evening?
no, I'd say that it's all done fine night. There's no smoke out there. The rain washes it all away.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of coffee?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's cool to have coffee on a Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
So, you said you knew a poem about the golden eye or something.
The golden eye.
The man with a golden eye. And you said you were going to recite that poem on the Sunday night.
You mean,
Crystal eye.
oh yeah.
The guy with the crystal eye.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're curious? So am I.
Yeah, you were saying you were going to recite that on a Sunday night on the hot stove league.
This is a tale that was told to me by the man with the crystal eye, as he smoked his pipe in the campfire light and strange glory swept the sky. A man once aimed at his life be arraigned, and he done him a deathly wrong. He harrowed him east, and he harrowed him west, till at last I fled to the bleak, bald-headed north. And there I laid, and there I prayed for many a day. And the years went by, and I finally, I was smoking my pipe by the campfire light when I seen an inky blob come swinging down the stream.
You get the bottom ones there. Yeah, you betcha.
Okay.
Sure. Hey, do you mind if my kid runs around your yard for a minute and tries to get your rabbit?
I don't care.
Okay.
There's no dogs out there.
Okay.
Okay, take care, buddy.
Take care, man. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna do it for the evening, eh, Tom?
Mm-hmm.
No more poem.
That's good enough.
So, when are we gonna do her again? Next Sunday?
Well, I don't know, maybe.
Good night from the south side. All is well.
Yep.
God bless.
Mm-hmm. Cheerio, ching ching, huddly ho, napu, my friend.